Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to do a very simple recipe for you. I actually had a request to do some simple stuff that anybody could make that was cheap, that tasted good, and that you didn't need a lot of skills to do, you know, and was a better choice than what they find in the case at the deli at the store. Right, so what we have here is we've got some boiled potatoes and a couple onions, and you're going to need some butter and a bit of salt, and that's it. Now, for this dish, always make sure you get the onions going first. Cut them in half. Now, I cut them in half before peeling them because it just makes it so much easier. Now, if you're really stuck for onions, just take the skin off. These are starting to go bad because I've had them for too long, so I'm going to take the first bit off. This is a base dish that's good to just eat by itself. You can also cut up some luncheon meat. You can cut up some hot dogs if you're on a really tight budget. If you've got some leftover, for example, chicken nuggets or something like that, you chop those up and put it in after it's cooked and heat it up. It's really good. Now for this, yeah, you definitely want part of it as a dice. So since I've got two onions, I'm going to dice one. So cut it along that way. To give it a little variety in the dish, you do the cut the other way. And just do this. So what that does is when they fry up, it gives a little more texture to the dish. So get a couple of tablespoons of butter. If you can't afford butter, use margarine, just butter tastes better. Get those onions in. Get a spatula if you can. If you do not have or can't afford a spatula, use a spoon instead of a fork. Fork's just going to scratch up the bottom of your pan. Onions, you always want to salt them a bit. It does two things. It improves the flavor and also helps to bring the water out. Yeah, this is about good. 6 medium small potatoes. If you don't have a big knife, buy one as soon as you can afford it. And otherwise, you can actually do the onions with a paring knife. You just got to be a lot more careful and it takes longer. And for the potatoes, just basically get a paring knife and cut them up. I don't know if you've seen my potato salad, but if you have, do like that. Yeah, if you catch any bad bits on them, don't wreck your dinner, just take it out. I do my potatoes in an Instant Pot. Now, obviously, if you're starting out, you're not going to have one of those. So when you do make your potatoes, just keep the knife ready. See, even these, they don't go all the way through. If you're going to be making potatoes to cook in other dishes, always undercook them so that when you stick the knife in, it doesn't just slide all the way through. So if you're new to this, you're far better to control the heat by cooking it lower. Do not cook it at really high heat, because if you lose control of it, you'll just burn it. You're better take a little longer and go lower heat. Now, if you're unsure of it, just take the pan off the heat for a bit. Okay? So when the onions are starting to sort of caramelize, but not quite, that's when you grab your potatoes. Just pop those in like that. Now the reason I did such big chunks is because when you stir them, they will naturally break down a bit. And if you cut them into small pieces to start off with, you'll basically just get mashed potatoes. So I am going to just let these go together. And for this, I am going to turn the heat down. I got it around medium-high right now. I'm going to turn it down to a little above low. And if you've got an electric stove, that would be the second button from the bottom. Okay, this has been going for a bit. And I stirred that up a little, sorry. I wanted to show you when I got back. Hang on. So, yeah, so you're starting to go for that color. Basically, this is just starting up. I'm going to turn up the heat a little higher. If you stand with it, you're okay. It's looking a little dry, so I'm going to put a bit more butter in it. I mean, if this is going to be your dinner, it should be good, right? It's coming along, but I've noticed that I cut a few of the pieces too large. Now, that's the advantage when they start to cook, and I'll just show you with this one here. You can pick the ones you want and just push down with the spatula, and they should just split right in half like that. Try that left-hand thing I promised for New Year's, right? See, just do that until they're the size that you want. I turned up the heat too high on purpose because I want to show you a trick. Let's say, you know, you got called away or you got on your phone or whatever, and you come back and you see part of it looks like it's starting to burn. What you do is you get yourself a little glass of water, throw it in the pan, turn it over, and what that does is it deglazes the burnt stuff off the bottom, and it spreads it around as a general sort of, you know, golden goodness all over the mix, and it dries off really quick actually. Now I will turn that back down a little bit. And you can actually repeat that as often as you want. If you throw the water in too often, you'll notice the potatoes will soften and get a little mushy. If you like that, do that. If you want them crispy dry, then go sparing with the water. This is where it comes down to a matter of taste. How done do you want it, right? And that only you can know. How brown and crispy you want the potatoes on the bottom, how creamy they are. You can just go by the smell. Up to you. This is done enough for me, so I'll just put it in a bowl, show you what we got. There's how to do fried potatoes and onions. Now this either makes like pretty much dinner by itself. If you want to add something to it, like some hot dogs or something, and you would fry those up in the pan with this near the end. Or if you just want to like split it in half and use it as a side dish for a couple of days. Okay, so you can make some really good food for really cheap. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe.